Hey everybody, I'm back again. This is Chris Malloy. I am a platform architect for ServiceNow. So today we're going to talk about one of the underappreciated or less known features of ServiceNow. It's called Service Creator. And when I was at Knowledge this year, 2017, I realized that a lot of customers, both future prospect customers and current customers, didn't really realize that this feature was available for them to consume. It is a no-code solution that admins can give lines of business to be able to create their own service catalog request within their department catalogs. One of the complaints I get is I can't hire any more ServiceNow developers. I would love to enable other lines of businesses to use the platform with some relative stability, that some surety that they're not going to upset everything else running in ServiceNow. And Service Creator is designed to do that. And I'll show you how. All right, so let's use Service Creator and set this up for our finance department. So the first thing we need to do is either someone from finance or IT themselves needs to set up a category. And you could do it based on department or group. And we're going to do this specifically for finance. Now, once this request is made, you'll see this form. This is the form that IT interacts with to be able to create this. They can either approve or deny or reject or delete it from this point. But let's go ahead and create a category and table. And that's all that you need to do to actually set this up. Okay, now let's say I'm somebody in finance and I've been tracking. Let's say we have a company policy, a road warrior policy. People who travel so much a year, they're allowed to upgrade their flights to first class. So I want to create that service. Currently, everything's just in my email or in a spreadsheet, and I want to get out of that. I want to start using ServiceNow Platform. So as long as I'm an editor, and we can decide who in the finance department can be an editor and get the rights to see this. But as long as I'm an editor, I can go ahead and create that service. And what you're going to see here is the Service Designer. And what it's meant to do is give you a limited but no-code solution to create catalog items. And remember what I said, it's not IT that's creating these, it's the process owner. So we're going to go through 3 steps. One is we're going to create the form of the catalog, and then we're going to address the workflow, and then we're going to find out how and we want to make it available to the rest of our enterprise. And we support a limited number of field types by design, and hopefully in the future we'll see more of these. But let's just say this is a flight upgrade service, so we're going to get a flight confirmation number here. I'm going to go ahead and make this field mandatory. I'm just going to do a couple fields so you get the idea. And let's say we need a date. So date of travel here. Stay consistent and keep our capital letters consistent. And then let's do a yes/no question as well. So have traveled more than 70,000 miles this year. And I'm going to also make this a mandatory field that defaults to no. So let's do that. Okay. And I'm going to call this my Road Warrior Service Upgrade Flights to First Class. Now I'll just put that as the description as well. Okay, so we've now designed the form to have 3 questions when somebody makes a request. Now we need to deal with the workflow. We can have a default message that comes back as soon as you make the request, and we can send out an email to the requester saying that we've received it. We can also ask for approval. In this case, finance needs to approve it. And after the approval or reject, we can let the requester know the status of that. And if it is approved, then we need to have a task created and fulfilled by, we'll just reuse the finance department, but it could be a different department at this point. And when the work's complete, let the requester know what's going on. Let's also make it available in our finance services department catalog. And I'm not going to use any images now, but ultimately you'd want to create some icon that makes sense in your catalog. It takes a little while to upload those for this demo. And I'm going to go ahead and publish this service. Okay, so now that our service is published, we'll be able to track it down here. We have our RoadWarrior service. It's listed as one of our services. All of the tasks that get created and assigned to our finance group will show up here in open task. Currently we don't have that. So let's pretend that a user comes into our service catalog. How would they interact and see this service? So they would go to our departmental services, and if they went to the finance department catalog, they would see now this service available to consume. They can click it, they can add their account number, the date to travel, and yes, they have traveled more than 70,000 miles. Now, since I'm an admin on this account, the approval will happen automatically for me, but a normal user, it would sit and wait for the approval to happen. And now that it's been approved, there's a task for somebody in finance to go do. So if we go back to our finance services, we'll see there's now an open task for somebody to call Delta or whichever airline, pay the difference in price, and upgrade my ticket to first class. And when they're done with that, of course, they can just go ahead and complete the task and handle the task like you would any task. The advantage is I'm not doing this in email anymore. I do not have to send emails for confirmation back out to people who are making the request. The workflow is doing all of that. And if you want to take a look at the workflow, we can go ahead and show that. It's on the task. It's just a generic workflow, and this is what makes it a no-code solution. As long as you follow those steps, this workflow is already built, and we could fit hopefully the majority of simple approval task creation type services into this generic solution. And that's where the power of this comes from. Okay. All right, just one more quick point for completeness here. So let's say that your app, this catalog request becomes very important and it's well used, and you want to start adding functionality to it. Well, the no-code solution is not going to give you the flexibility that a high control app would give you. You're kind of stuck using just our workflow. If that's the case, though, you can come into Studio and create an app, and instead of starting from scratch, you can start from a service. And I can select that RoadWarrior service. When I do that, what it does is it takes my service and it builds application files for it. It also takes my catalog service request and it flattens it out into an actual table with a data model. And you'll see my variables are now column names. And this is now an environment where I can open up the workflow, I can change the workflow. This is a copy of the original workflow now within my app. So I can add an approval in a different place, or I can add an extra notification. I have more control over this now. So just so you're aware, you can take these simple catalog requests and convert them very easily into applications. So now I can start adding integrations. Maybe I want to integrate with the airline services and find out which seats are available, or I want some business logic around which airline services I actually will upgrade with instead of just the generic one. And this gives me the control to do that. You'll also see my catalog item request is now a record producer. Still available in the catalog, but now it's a record producer because of the table conversion. And anyways, you don't have to start from scratch building an app if you've already have the service created from your no-code development. All right, well, that's it for today. Please like, dislike, subscribe, leave comments in the comments below, and hope to see you again soon. Thanks, everybody. Cheers.